Alright YouTube, what's up? So in this here video I'm working on my citation here, and as I mentioned in my update video that I released a little bit ago, the radio has stopped working in this. I had this here aftermarket Jensen auto reverse digital, I guess ETR cassette deck. I got out of a junkyard. I got an old Dodge pickup in the junkyard, and it worked. I originally had it in my Mercury, and it worked for about a whole summer. And then I took it out to put in an actual under dash cassette deck instead of just having this one on the floor, on a board with a strap over it. And then this one sat on the shelf for a couple years, so I put it in the citation when I got this car, and nothing worked on it except for the cassette player, and then that quit working. So this is gonna get thrown in the trash after I salvage the belt out of it, because nothing works, and it's digital, it's buttons. So if nothing's working, then the fuse probably blew, and I can't. That is beyond my skill level. Because the fuse on those is part of the board, and I'm not gonna resolder something onto a board of a 40-year-old radio if it doesn't work. So anyway, what I ended up doing is obviously I took out that radio, the junky one. And I bought this here Optimus aftermarket cassette deck. This is brand new. This is from RadioShack. I found their liquidation account on eBay. You can find them. I can't remember what they're called right now. If I can find it again, I will put it in the description. But you can find their liquidation account on eBay. It has all their new old stock radios and components, so you can buy brand new radios from like 20 plus years ago, which is kind of cool. So this here cost me $50. The package was unopened, still had the tape on it when I got it, and this here is a radio. Came with obviously the head unit, some hardware to mount it up with, which I'm not going to be needing. The face of the radio, since this was a removable head, portable head unit. This is a cool little case too. This is kind of neat. But the face of the radio is in this case here. If I could pop that open, I'll just leave it. But it's in there. I already opened it earlier to check. It comes with the instruction manual, and it comes with this here shell for snapping it into place in your slot. But since this is going to be under the dash, we're not going to be using that, so I've taken that off. So here's this, and now this, what also came with is a wiring harness. It actually comes with a connector, which is nice, so you don't have to solder this straight to your wires on the car. It came with the other end of this. I've already put in the car, so you'll be able to see that in a minute. But it's also got amplifier hookup, and antenna, obviously. So yeah, it's a simple deck. This one is actually a little bit lower end than the Jensen. This one is a auto stop, so you will have to manually eject it and flip the tape around and put it in the other way to play the next side of the tape, which isn't great, but it's not the end of the world, especially since I might prefer it in something like this because it's simpler to fix. So if I need to take this out for service, I don't have to deal with auto reverse, where there's 2 capstans and 2 pinch rollers and an extra belt and a bunch of other bullshit. I can just have the one, so it's a lot more simple, and it's a lot more like the cassette decks you would use for your home stereo. So that's not the end of the world. But yeah, it comes with this, and then inside the car here, it has the harness with the fuses on it. And then I've already got all my butt connectors and everything. I've already got the harness hooked up. The speaker connectors are over here, and they're already up here. I'm not going to connect those just yet because it says in the owner's manual that you're supposed to, in the owner's manual for the radio, or instruction manual, I guess, it says you're supposed to connect the radio power and ground first and test it before you hook up the speakers, because I guess if you don't, then it damages the radio, or it could damage the radio. I don't think that's really a concern very much, but I'm going to do it the way that it tells me to, just so I don't have any problems. But I'm going to open this here case, if I can. I'm going to set the... Okay, there it goes. So that's a face right there. Pull this, out of that and put it on the face of the radio. I think it just kind of snaps in here. Oh, you're gonna have to put this, there we go. You push this side in first, and then, for fuck's sake, this is hard to do with one hand. There it goes. Snaps right into place. And then you're on, off, balance, tone, eject. I'm not seeing any fast forward rewind on here. So, that kind of sucks, but oh well. It does have an aux cable. I know it says CD in because MP3s didn't exist when this came out, but that's a 3.5 millimeter cable. Could be used for an aux cord if you wanted. So that might come in handy. I might actually use this. I usually just use a cassette adapter, but that's only out of necessity because I don't have these aux ports on my old cars. But since this one has one, I might end up investing in one of those. But I rarely even use a cassette adapter in these. I usually just listen to actual cassette tapes. But if I'm driving at night and I want to listen to some chill music I don't have on tape, I'll just throw an adapter in there and use that. But like I said, now that I have this, I might invest in one of those cables. But anyway, so now what I'm going to do is hook this up here and I guess test it the way that it says to do it in the manual. And it's really nice that it has this harness here, because now I don't have to deal with disconnecting all the wires and reconnecting them and stuff. So I'm going to hook this up, test it, and then hook up the speakers. Okay, so it's hooked up. I got the key on. And I have the radio on right now. Obviously, that's not going to do anything because the speakers aren't plugged in. But tuner works. Up and down. It's neat. It's got this nice orange glow to it. Usually I have green or blue. So I'm liking that. Looks like the presets are working. Obviously, it's preset to whatever it's set to be from the factory. I don't know what any of these buttons do right now, so I'm not going to touch them. Obviously, you're not going to be able to tell volume control and all that, bass, treble, all that stuff. But turned off, on. See, the buttons light up when you turn it on. Off, the buttons turn off. Ignition off. Radio turns off. Ignition to the accessory position, turn it back, and it doesn't seem to power up, so we might not have accessory. But that could also be a fault of the key in this, because I know the wiring on this car is Swiss cheese, so that might not be a problem with the actual radio. Actually, it most likely isn't a problem with the radio. It's most definitely a problem with the wiring in the car. But so yeah, now that I know that works, I'm going to get the speakers hooked up, and then I will test it for you before I install it. Okay, so I've got those on. I am going to get them melted. Figured I'd show this just to have a little bit of action in the videos. I can't do a whole lot one-handed, you know, so I try to have at least a little bit of action in these videos so that people are still entertained. I know this is a pretty boring one, and well, most people don't actually watch my radio videos. I've noticed that those get significantly less views than the rest of my content does. But like I always say in all my videos, I'm not really doing this for the view count. I'm more so doing it for my own enjoyment, and some people do like to, I guess, receive updates and watch a project as it progresses. Ouch, that was kind of hot, wasn't it? Ow, fuck. I'm an idiot sometimes and I burn myself with my own blowtorch. Seems like it takes a lot longer when you're recording it. It doesn't like to be watched. It's very pressured. And the reason I'm not using a heat gun for this is because the torch is faster. I know you're not supposed to use a little torch for this because it lights them on fire like I just did. But it's faster, and as long as you're not being ridiculous with it, it shouldn't be an issue. There we go. Just get them all on there. And also, the reason I have these ends sticking out is not only to mark which color wire is supposed to go into it, but it's also because these speaker wires that the previous owner used for these are insanely skinny, and they're too small to actually fit into the pink butt connectors. So I needed to beef them up a little bit with another wire just to get it so it would even begin to crimp down on that. But yep, there's that. So let's hook the radio back up and see if I can get this to work on camera. Oh, for fuck. Alright, it's all hooked up. Turn a key on. Radio powers up. I see it there, and it actually saved my time, which is interesting. On. I heard the speakers kick on. I hear static. Oh, see, we don't have the antenna hooked up. I'll have to hook that up too, but I just want to test the cassette function here. Oh yeah. Yep. That works. So, radio works. I have proof that it works on this video. There's some of my cassette tapes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this radio back in the bracket here, and this is actually a pretty ingenious design, the way that they've got this bracket. So it's mounted with a Torx head screw into the frame of the dash. Behind that there, underneath this here plastic piece. And then there's a stud on this side with a nut, and you loosen this nut, just this bottom, or just this side comes down, slide the radio in there, tighten it back up, and that's how you do it. It's a really easy, quick disconnect for the radio. Probably the only thing that the previous owner did well with this. Everything else is a hack job. This is actually pretty nifty. So I'm going to put this new radio in here, tie up the wires all nice and out of the way, and I will be happily using my new radio from now on. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.